Hello all and welcome to Crochet Designs yet again for another tutorial. My name is Mary and in today's tutorial we are going to be attaching our gorgeous triangle to our jeans. Now for those of you who have been following us, last week we created this gorgeous little triangle. I'll show you the triangle properly first. We created this triangle. I did the triangle and then I turned around and did, oh hang on, where am I? Yeah, that's right. Then I turned around and did another base row because I thought that would help out with length. Well, no, it didn't. It's still a bit short, but that doesn't matter. My jeans are a little too tight all the way up towards the knee area. So really, I should have made my triangle longer to fit the knee. However, I'm not going to despair. I'm going to add my triangle. Then yours truly is going to add a row or 2 rows of crochet around the bottom, which means having to do some sewing across here as well. That we're going to do after this tutorial. Now it's optional. You don't necessarily have to do that. If yours triangle suits perfectly, then that's great. Mine, these pants, between you and I and the rest of the world, these pants were made for a 3/4 length tall woman, and this just fits me. And it goes to show how short I am, but don't tell anyone. So I am going to be creating a couple of rows of double crochet, I'm lying, a couple of rows of cluster sets that you see here. Whether it be 2 rows, whether it be 3, I haven't decided yet, and I'll decide that towards the end of this tutorial. That will be optional. And I will say to you guys, when we get to the triangle part, I'd say, right, you've attached your triangle, see you later, or stick around for a couple of more minutes and we will attach a few rows of this stitch to the bottom of our trousers or jeans or whatever it is you're working on. Mine are jeans, so I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm just going to move those jeans out the way, but I will tell you what you will need is your triangle. You will need a pair of scissors, a nice good pair, because you're going to be using it to cut your really thick jeans, so be wary about that one. You will need matching thread. A little story about this thread, but I'm not going to go into it. It'll take too long. It took me a long time to find the right colour to this particular piece right here. Now this thread is super fine, so I'm doubling it. No other thickness thread would match it, so this is all I could find. All right, so it doesn't matter, you know, if you want to use a different color, that's fine too. Now you will need a sewing needle. Now I chose a very see if I can get close up for you, a very fine one, because it needs to go through the thickness of your jeans. Now if your jeans are anything like mine, you have it's like a double layer of seam line, and it's super thick, so it's really difficult to get your sewing needle through it. And so I've already, as you can see, I've already threaded it, because you try thread that. Where's the eye? Let me show you the eye. Pull this out the way. Let me show you the eye. Can you see the eye? I can't see the eye even on the screen. Let's blow it up and make it get close. Look at that eye. You can't even see it. It's tiny. So I have to thread that off air with, you know, super magnifying glasses. But, you know, it's threaded. It's ready to go. You will need some pins so that you can attach your triangle to your jeans. Plus, you will need a measuring tape. All right, so I'm not going to talk anymore. We're just going to get started creating, or adding, I should say, our gorgeous triangle to our jeans. Good luck, guys. Alrighty, guys, to start off with, lay your triangle out in front of you. The base of your triangle that's going to sit at the base of your jeans, sitting down the bottom, and the very top of your triangle, whereas right up towards the your knee area or your calf area, wherever it is that yours reaches. Then you need to measure from the point all the way down to the base. And I'll just turn it over for you to have a look-see. Now mine measures roughly around 6 inches or just on 6 inches and 15 point something centimeters. What I'm going to do is use about a few centimeters off, or a centimeter off, we'll say a centimeter, because I think that's what I did with the other side. And we're going to leave a full centimeter for seaming. So don't worry about that for now. This is where we're up to 6 inches or 15 centimeters. When you measure it on your jeans, grab your jeans. Right, there's the top of your jeans. Yes, that's my back area. In fact, what I'll do is I'll put these two together so you can see them and you know where it goes. Okay. All right, so that's the back of your jeans. See the pockets there at the back, right at the back part? There's the front of your jeans and there's the back, right? So bring it up all the way down, right? Not the middle, but the outer side of your jeans is where we're attaching our triangle, okay? So it'll be like that, all right? So pop that out the way, spin all this around like so. Well, it's gonna block off the light. Oh no, it's not too bad. All right, take your little triangle off. And remember we had 15, let's blow this up a little bit, there you go. Remember we had 15 to add, yeah? But that's 15 in one piece. You need to bring it down a little bit to 14 centimeters or 5.5 inches so that when you cut up to here, you still have another centimeter to fold under because we're going to be folding under a little bit. All right, so what you do is just grab this little needle right here, pin, sorry, not a needle, get it right. Pop it where you want to cut. That might be too high up, and I think I did put it too high up. Let's try a bit lower. Right there, perfect. All right, pop it where you want to cut it. You don't need your measuring tape anymore. I think you're actually done with the measuring tape. Turn your pants that way. Now this is the area where you need to be very careful not to cut the base of your jeans. Yes, you're only cutting the top bit. And all you're doing, in fact it might pay for you to put your hand in there so you don't cut it, don't cut your hand though, is cutting. Now one side of your jeans, if it's anything like mine, you'll have a thick side and a thinner side. On the other side I found it easier, I was able to just cut along the edge and then turn around and cut that thick piece off, which is exactly what we're going to do here. But this is, I'm starting from the thickest part. So I'm going to literally cut from, make it whole so you can see it. I'm going to be cutting there. That's how far off I'm going to be cutting. So all you have to do is follow the seam line from the inside of your jeans. Okay, if that makes any sense. And there's the seam line from the inside of the jeans. So I'm following that. We are cutting this thick part off, yes. It doesn't matter if it's not completely. Oh, I'll fix this up in a minute. It's a terrible cut, isn't it? But get to your knee. I'll fix it up in a minute. Get to your pin right there. Turn it over. And cut across just until the fold line. Like that. There's the fold. No, that didn't cut right through. Tell you to get a good pair of scissors. There it is. There's the fold line. All right. And that fold line right here, you can actually take that neat pin out because we're not going to cut any more of that. All right. There's your fold line right here. You're going to cut along the fold line. As close to it as you can get. It's very difficult to do it with the camera in front of you. Sorry, guys. I did the other side perfectly. All right, so there you go. What you should have is that. It should be just that tiny little bit split from the little centimetre or whatever it is. I'm going to fix this one up in a minute. I'll fix that up off there in a minute. But it should be like a centimetre split. And it doesn't really matter if it's a little bit more. It doesn't matter. It's not noticed, all right? Just give me 1 second. I'll fix that piece up and I'll join you right back in a second. Alrighty, it's all nice and straight now, or straighter than it was. Now you're going to grab your piece. The extra side that we did across here that is not on those sides right there, that's where it should be. Then you see these little sections here, you need to open them up. You need to open them up. All right, I'm going to show you that close up. It's just far away so that you can see what I did. But then when I show you close up, you can see clear of what I just did. All right, that's the way we're going to attach our piece on the jeans. But for now, we are going to, this is a little bit messy. We're going to turn this in a little bit, okay? So I'll show you how we're going to do that. Now, this is a rough job. You don't have to do this part completely perfect. I'm going to try it from this end here first. And all you're doing is, and if it helps you to pop some pins in, and again, even that's very messy. I wouldn't even worry too much about it, right? I'm not going to pop it in the thicker section because it really is super thick. Just doing a little tiny bit in there. You can measure it if you like. Mine was just cut crooked from the beginning. I tried to straighten it, but it didn't work. So to ignore my crooked one, just ignore it. Trust me. So get to the top here, and all you're doing is, oh, I'm sorry, you've got to do this up the top. Just get in and just do this. It loosens it up, gives it a bit of ease when you're crocheting, when you're sewing over it. So you do the same in this corner here, so you give it a bit of a stretch. I think I didn't do that too well on the other side, which is probably a reason why it's a little tight the other side, but I'm not worried. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's supposed to be loose and like flickery. I don't even know what to call it. You know, where it just moves around a bit. Fold that part there. Right there, you need to fold that under as well. That's where this stretch comes in now. Okay, you are going to sew over this, and then you're going to sew over it again with the crochet. Now it's entirely up to you. Oh, that didn't even work. Let's try that again. I really have cut too much on mine. Hopefully you didn't do as bad as me. See how super thick these jeans are? Yeah. All right, so now you're going to fold that side over a little bit. See how it's twisted a bit? It might even pay for you to start from this end. Bring that up a little bit, it's too low. Yep. And work your way up. You can use measurement here if you like. It's not necessary because it's supposed to be like a little flary flick. It's not supposed to be perfectly straight, if that makes any sense. I hope it makes sense. There we go. There. And then put a little one in here. It's going to be a little tight. And there you go. So now you're going to grab your sewing needle. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I lost the sewing needle on the ground. Can you believe it? Grab your sewing needle. Make sure, if you've got a very thin yarn thread, whatever you want to call it, you double it. There's 2 threads here. No, it doesn't look like it, does it? But there is 2 threads there. And then you just kind of knot it. So you spin it around your finger a few times and pull it through. Spin it around a few times, pull it through. I don't know if you're seeing what I'm doing there. All I'm doing is spin, 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 and then pulling it through. Spin, 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 pull it through. Just like you're rubbing the thread together, but you're just pulling it forward and then pulling it through. All right, so I got about 60 million knots there, but that's okay. I don't mind that. With the other jeans, when I started sewing, I started the knot down here, so it kind of sticks out of the jeans, and I don't want that for this. So I'm going to pop my needle just where the pin is, right there. Right? Just so that the knot is not started down the bottom end and no one can see it. See that little tiny knot? I don't want to cut too close to that or the knot will come undone. So it just means having to go back a few centimeters, not much. You don't have to go right down the bottom there. You don't have to, because that's going to be attached to the piece anyway. So as long as you've got that closed up, pop your needle in and see how tight it is to get through, and that's a thin needle. So you're making really big stitches, like really long stitches. I can take that pin out now, but really long stitches. Go into that next stitch where you were in before. It's not for anything, it's just to keep it in place so that when you are attaching it to your jeans, it'll be a lot easier. So I'm going to take really big, see that? Really big spaces. And I'm not going back to that beginning, I'm just going to go back halfway, like that. Because this is not anything, it's just to keep it in place. So really big spaces like that. How big is that? Yeah? And then we're going to go back halfway. So what it's doing is it's actually going on your jeans, okay? You wanted to keep it perfectly straight, you can have a look. I'm just used to doing it, so I know exactly where the needle's going to go, okay? And there we go. Ow, oh, that one was attached to my finger. Such a baby, look at that. No blood? Well, that's good. Oh, that's not nice. I'm getting all sore and I'm going to start crying in a minute. Okay, so there we go. Just give it a tug, go back halfway, and that's it. This is all you're doing for this section here. We're going to get to about here, and then I'm going to let you head off on your own, but I want you to see this part. So take that pin out. I want you to see that bit. We're going to go all the way up there, like that. Oh, good, I didn't pin myself this time. Just check. Look what happened here. Got into a bit of a knot. So just constantly check the other side. Okay, always check that other side. Go back in there and go. Oh, I'm going to take that pin out because that's annoying. And then just go into a different area. Start closing it up a little bit tighter when you get to the top, because the top will be a little awkward. All right, so just, well, there's a little bit crooked there, but I don't care. This is not going to be seen, guys. This is underneath your work. And once again, it's just hold it in place until you attach the piece, all right? Okay, from here, you need to hold that down. Go back. Oh, I'm not even in shot. Let's get right in shot there. In there and go in there. So notice I'm making my stitches are a lot smaller now. The gaps are a lot smaller. Just up the top, because this is a part that may not work too well, and it's gone all knotted on me. Oops, I've lost the needle. Sorry about this, guys. Sewing, not my strong point, but anyway. Now we're up to this area where all the knotting is. This is a part where you need to be a little careful not to sort of pull it too much. So get right into that tight area there. That's where your needle is. This is the area where we cut, right there. Don't worry, this is going to be covered. You won't see that. Okay, trust me. Did you buy a used car from this woman? No. All right, here we go. With this one here, I want to go back into the stitch there. The same stitch, or just before it, or just after it, whatever's better for you. You may not have noticed before, I went over this section on purpose, and I'm going to be going over it all the way through here. It's just because we've got the split there, and we want to make sure that that split is not going to split when we attach our piece. It won't, but still, we're going to be going over it very gently. Don't pull it too much because you don't want that to be extra tight. Once you get to this section here, all the thickness is, we've gone over it there. When you get to this section here, go in. Hang on, where are we? What side are we on? We're on this side. Stay on this side. Go in through the whole thickness. Now being careful, because this is really tight for me. Really hurt my finger trying to get it through there. And just go back in the same thickness, just a little tiny bit over. Keep coming off. You know why? Because the jeans are falling off the table. I can't work. It's so awkward. All right, there we go. Ooh, there we go. And then go back into it, the same thickness. Ooh. I'm going to use the nail to push it through. Look at me, my finger. I need a thimble. I've got a thimble somewhere and I just don't get it out, do I? All right, so now we're here. Now we're going to start going over again, just this way. Because I'm on that side, we're going to go over just this section here. And all that's doing is it's going to reinforce the stitching and stop it from coming undone. All right, so we are, where are we? We're there. Yep, we're going to go back over this way again, just for this little section. I'm going to take that undone now because we're in. So I think I did it twice on the other side right there. So I'm going to do it twice here and off we go. Now from here, you're going back in there, and now we're going back the normal way we did before, where we start one side. Oh, we can take that undone now. We start one side and we just keep going all the way down, like that, all the way down. And that's nice big strips all the way down. And once again, no one's going to see this. All this is keeping your piece in place when you're ready to attach your triangle. Okay, a little bit fussy. I know, I was going to pop this on fast, but look where we are. I may as well just keep going. Okay guys, I just went off air there because I pinned myself and it's somewhere there. I will pop that little funny thing right at the end of this tutorial just for you to have a look at. Oh, I'm hoping it doesn't bleed anymore. There's quite a bit of bleeding involved. So, you know, towards the end of the video I'll show you that. And if you're frightened to see blood, then just look away. I'm so careful now, look at me. I'm being really careful. So again, it's a little bit crooked, but don't stress. Look how careful I am. I'm moving my hands right away from everything. You'll know what I mean when you see that little blooper at the end of the tutorial here. Oh, can't take me anywhere. All right, so just keep going all the way down. I'm kind of running out of thread here, so it's a bit of a bonus. Keep my hands right away. I suppose it doesn't help when there's other needles in there, pins in there I should say. Let's move that out the way. I'm keeping far away from it. Okay. All right, here we go. We're nearly there. Now this is where it's super thick. I'll pull that down a bit. It's a bit too crooked. It's where it's super thick. So just be wary. You've got to go through all those thicknesses. I'm using the nail now. I have a thimble. You know I have a thimble. All right, let's just keep pulling that through right there. I think we're going to call it quits there now. All right, so here we are. We're right at the end. Of course, it's going to knot right at the end, isn't it? Look at that. It doesn't knot any other time, but at the end. Did it go through? Yes, it did. All right, so what you're going to do is you're just going to go across there, pop your needle in, pull it through. What you're doing is just closing up that side section there, okay? Then you're going to go back in and actually pull it through like that. There's many ways you can do that. I usually wrap around 10 times, but that might be too confusing for everyone. So I'm just going to do that. Don't pull it all the way through. Get your needle and pop it through here. This is another way of doing it. It's a very easy way of doing it, and then it just knots itself. But it's not enough that you do it once. You've got to do it a couple of times. All right, if you do it this way. For me, I like to do it this way, okay? And it does confuse people, and the knot sometimes gets stuck, so it's not that good, but I'll show you. I pop it around a few times, nice and loosely. This comes from dressmaking years, and then just pull it through nice and tight. That's the way I like to do it. And then I do it twice usually. Oops. Just realised it's going through the thickness of the jeans. You don't want that. Okay, a couple of times. Pull it through, and then you're good to go at cutting your little thread. Now that that is done, the next part you need to do is, and I'm going to do it upside down. Normally I would do it the other way, but I'm going to do it this way for you. All right, you need to do exactly the same thing. I know you're thinking, what? And yes, that's just the way it goes. See that? It's not perfect. It's not supposed to be perfect. Let's get all this fluff off here so we can see what we're doing. It's not supposed to be perfect. What it's supposed to do is just prepare you for your triangle, which is upside down. So this is the bottom part. Oh, let me bring this out. That's the bottom part of your work, right? That needs to be stretched open. That needs to be stretched open for this part to work. You're going to attach your triangle like that. So it's already spread out, okay? So what you're going to do, once again, you're thinking, no, yes. This is where you really need to be careful on how you are attaching your piece, right? Your piece needs to be attached like that, just a little bit, like the same centimetre. I'm so far away. Centimetre from underneath, centimetre on top, and pair them up. If you're worried, just pair it up right up against your sewing, and then later you're going to sew on top. Okay, like I said, it's just to keep that in place, so when you do go to sew it, it's easier for you to sew on. All right, you didn't have to do all that, especially me losing a finger over it, which you're going to see at the end of the tutorial. But in the meantime, let's start pinning. All right, so just grab your little piece there, one side, and a piece on that side, as straight on the leg, the bottom part of the leg, as possible. Okay, here it doesn't matter if it's a tiny little bit crooked, it doesn't matter, it's a flared pair of pants, so it doesn't really matter. It's supposed to flare out, but you want it to be straight on the bottom part of your leg, especially if you're going to be doing what I'm doing and doing an extra couple of rows on the base. So just without pinning yourself, I'm so scared now. I'm such a baby, aren't I? Let's pop it in there first. This is how I did it with the other one. I popped it in there first, and then I found where I wanted my needle to go. Pulled it through like that. And then I brought the crochet part over. I just found that a lot easier to work with. And let's bring that down like that. Brought the crochet bit over and just popped it through some stitching of the crochet. I'll show you what it looks like in a second. All right, so it looks like that. There, that's the base of your jeans. All right, so the base of your jeans is like that. Okay, so then you are going to attach the rest of it there and the rest of it on the other side. All right, make sure you've got enough pins for this part. Okay. And how are we going? Is that crooked or is it straight? It's a little tiny bit. We'll just adjust this bit. Now this part, we are getting right up to the top here. So what you need to do, this is pulled. It really is crooked and it's pulling. Okay, let's try it this way. It means it might block off the lighting a bit, guys. I can't do it the other way. So I'm going to do it this way. There we go, that's better. It's the only way I know how to do it without blocking off the light, guys, sorry. Okay, so bring that down a little bit. Bring your jeans. Going over the stitching, see the stitching right there? I'm going over that stitching, pulling it through like that, and then bringing my work over the stitching. Did it go through? And there it went. So it kind of goes through the stitches up the top. Don't stress if it's a tiny little bit crooked. Again, it's crochet and it's not noticed. Not at all. Remember, I've done the other leg and that's not bad. I just want to make sure I cover that thread though. That's the idea. Cover up the sewing that's underneath your work on both sides, making sure you can't see the sewing. Okay, when we are sewing this bit here, we have to be more careful. We can't make really big long spaces. Okay, it has to be sewn up properly. Now this is a part where it gets a little awkward. You want to grab the point and go over your work, but you still don't want to see this under it either in the corner. So you really have to literally make sure your piece is, oh, it's really thick. I'm scared I'm going to lose a finger again. And just pop that right through, making sure you are going through all thicknesses of the jean underneath, and you're going to check it now anyway. So see that? See what I did there? That's wrong. So we're going to take that undone, and that's better. I can see the jeans underneath. I can see that thread underneath. I don't want to lose a finger like I did before. You like that? Lose a finger like I did before. Oh, this is so far away. Doesn't matter. There you go. So that's how it's sitting at the moment. I think, let's just turn this around. So much. Oh, let's move that out the way. I think you can actually do the rest. So head on down that side of the leg, get to the bottom of this, and I'll meet you back there in a moment. This part was the hardest bit. I'll meet you up there in a moment. Alrighty, if you're at this stage and it's all pinned up and ready to go, grab your sewing weaving needle, whatever that may be. Remember, you need to double it, same as before, and knot it, the same as before. All right, just be wary. I think I didn't make mine long enough. I may have to add more later. Just be wary to make it really long. It actually helps out a lot. Let's move all these other pins and things out the way. All right, so it's up to you which way you want to start. It doesn't worry me either way. You can start from either end. I think I might start from this section here, but again, it's up to you. Now, once again, I have a knot, so I'm going to pop my knot on the inside of my work, just at the base there, anywhere you like. It doesn't matter. Anywhere you like. Now I've got a bit to go before I get to the end of that base, so I probably started too low. I just didn't want to start under that thick. Didn't want to go through that thickness. It really does annoy me. I've got to go through it eventually, but not with the knot. Not with the knot. Pardon the pun. All right, so let's just pop our needle through our work. And what you're going to do here is you're not going to go backward and forward. You're just going to go right through until you get to the base of your work. And then we're just going to start sewing. There's the base of my work right there. I'm just going to pop that right through to the crochet. And that didn't go through crochet at all. Let's try that there. I'm going to take that needle out now because we don't need it there because we've gone through quite a bit. All right, so that has started our row. Oh, can you believe it? I'm doing well. This is a very sharp pin, guys. Don't use the sharp pins. Now, I notice that's not strong enough there. So I'm just going to go through the base stitch, pop it through to the jeans like that. One more time. You don't need to if yours is fine, but mine is quite loose there. So I'm going to pop it straight through and it's closed up shop. All right. Then just going to turn it the other way and pop it through. Just being careful not to do a Mary. I'm going to call this doing a Mary, pinning myself today. Don't do a Mary. What? Let's move that out the way so you can see. And there we go. All right, so we're going to do the same thing we did before by going back one and then going forward one. It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, I think it's called. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But we're going to do it very close because you want to make sure this doesn't come undone, because this is your final row of sewing. Okay, notice how there's no crochet in this tutorial. This is, oh no, there will be at the end if you're anything like me and you're not happy with your length. Okay, go 1 step back and 2 steps forward kind of thing, and move it over so it's kind of straight. You won't be able to tell if you've used the same colour thread, so it doesn't really matter. If you've used a different colour, by all means make sure your work is perfectly straight. And of course there's a knot here, isn't there? There we go. All right, probably would have been better for you to have gone this way and around. It doesn't really matter. Seriously, it doesn't matter. But I'm going to take out, I'm trying to work the easiest way. What I'm going to do is take out that, maybe I won't take the needle out until I get it through that next thickness. All right, now 1 step back, very small step back, and a small step forward. 2 steps forward, that is, but a small, not really large ones like we did underneath. These ones are smaller ones, all right? So I'm just going to pop this on fast motion just until we get to falling over all over the place. Here we go. I'm going to pop it on fast motion until we get to that needle right there, and I will meet you up in a second. And here we go. All right, we are almost there. This was terrible for me. I had a lot of problems with this. I think I pinned myself once again. So there's 2 pins, but you'll only see the one. Never mind, never mind. All right, so here we are at the very tip top. Now this is a part where you need to be a little bit careful, because right now I can actually see the thread from underneath. Right there, see that thread right there? I can see it. So we're going to have to adjust our piece so that we don't see that thread. So I'm going to take my needle out. All right, pin, not needle. Needle is the thing I'm holding. So I'm going to adjust it. In fact, I'm going to take the other one out as well. All right, and adjust it. So I didn't actually pin that top part properly. There it goes. It's now covered it. All right. So I'm going to grab another needle. Let's try pin. I wonder I can't do this right. I keep forgetting the name of these things. All right, and just pop it in through that way, just so that I could, there you go. Now I can see that I'm able to cover the whole piece. Making sure your point, and then my point has moved a little bit, is further down there. I might have to move my point over when I'm ready to start weaving in. In fact, I better do it now. You don't want your point to move, otherwise your piece is going to be crooked. All right? There you go. All right. So now that we've got the right part sitting in the right spot, all you're doing is going back one. Remember, we're going back one. The 2 steps forward, what is it? 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps backward, 1 step forward. You know what I mean? We're going back. Because we are filling in the gaps that we are making, the spaces that we're actually making, and we're actually filling in these spaces, not like the first row we did where we weren't worried about how big our spaces were. I'm going to take that needle out now. Try pin. You think I could get it right? You think I could get it right? All right, and just go back again. Being careful not to pin yourself underneath, because there's a whole lot of thicknesses under there. So I'm so scared. Oh, I'm so scared. Okay, and there we go. We're in without pinning myself. Now, because this is super thick here, I'm going back again. Same spot I just was in, I'm going straight back again. All right, because it's super thick there. Okay. Get this through, we're under control. All right, now all you're doing is turning your piece around and going down the other side. Okay, so this part is super easy. You're just going back. Remember to go that back way again and make it through to the other side. Okay, I don't know if you saw that very well. I'll just push that through. But I think you know what I'm doing because we're doing exactly the same thing we did to the other side. All right, so I'm not going to let you watch me do that. Get to that side there, get to the end of this row, don't cast off, meet me there, and I'll talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, I'm about that little tiny bit away from the edge. So what I want to do here, because once again I don't want that thread to be seen, so I'm going to finish off my row like so. Now this one here is going to really hurt me because it's a super thick section and I'm scared of losing another finger. I've lost 2 fingers through this. You're thinking, what? I have. Let's pop that through. I'm going to go right in and then up the other way because I don't want to lose a finger. So I'm going to do it like that. I don't want to lose a finger. I'm such a wimp. You're thinking, oh, she is a bit of a wimp. I am. I can't help myself. All right, here we go. We're almost there at the end of the row. Here we go. Right there. So there we go. That's actually complete. All right, so what I'm going to do, once again, because I still think this is not strong enough, let me get a close-up for you. That won't be strong enough. If I knot it now, that's not going to be strong enough. So I'm going to go in a couple of times. I'm going to go back. Oh, I'm out of frame. There we go. I'm going to go back once in there. Really super thick area. I'm so scared. Here we go. All right. And I'm going to go back in there again. Like that. There we go. That should do it now. Look, it's not coming undone. So what I'm going to do is actually go back the other way twice so that I'm way in the middle there and I can knot it around there rather than knotting it up the front. So just go a nice big step back. Doesn't matter how big this section here is. I need to get my thimble for the next pair of jeans. You know that, don't you guys? All right, and just go back in there in an area where it's not so super thick. All right, now this is where you do your knots. You go through a little bit of thickness there, like so, and you pull it through that little knot there. If you want to do it that way, you do it like that. Or if you want to do it like me, where you just go in and you wrap it around a few times. The problem with this is that it can get knotted and then it messes the whole thing up. Don't do it so tight. Wrap it around loosely and then give it a tug. All right, do it one more time because, hey, you don't want it to come undone. 3 times is plenty though. Yes, wrap it around a few times and give it a tug. All right, easy. You can leave a tiny little bit of tail if you like. No one's going to see it under there. Okay, and that's that. Now that is your 2 pairs. Let me try the other side. Not 2 pairs. Your 1 pair. Hello, your 1 pair of jeans done. You can get the other side out. You can have a look at them both together. Ta-da! And there you go. But it's not enough just to see it like this, is it? I know it looks a bit creased and yucky here, but you know what? I think you need to see it in full. Check this out. A little bit silly as usual, never mind. That's the piece we just completed. This is the one I did off air afterwards. So that's pretty much what you're looking at. Now this only if you want to do this. It's not necessary. This is just optional because yours truly realised that these jeans were far too short for boots. So there you go. All right. to do this part, if you don't want to do this part and you're happy with just the little triangle, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to join us on our lives at 4 p.m. Wednesday afternoon and 10 a.m. Saturday mornings, Melbourne, Australia time, that is. Now, for the rest of us, we're going to stick around and do this part of the tutorial, which is gorgeous. Gives it a bit of a flair, a little bit of a kick. Get it? Kick, leg? Oh, dad joke, sorry. All right, so here's your other side, okay? Now what we're going to do here, we need to calculate from here to here how big yours is. Now from here to here, mine's 30 centimeters, okay? Which really isn't much. What is that in inches? Okay, let's have a look. 30 centimeters is, oh, not there, is about almost 12 inches, okay? It's like, let's move this out the way for a second. 11 point something inches. There's my 30. So it's almost 12 inches, all right? So what I did was I messed up and did only 16 cluster sets, or 16 spaces right here that you see. All right, I did 16 in the round, but you actually need a little bit more. So maybe 18, I think, is plenty. And what you're doing is you're doing 18 spaces with your thread, which I'm going to show you in a minute, from here to here. So you need to divide your 18 through your 30 centimeters or through your 12 inches. And you're looking at about, I've done that already for you. So you're looking at about 1.6 centimeters. So 1 centimeter, 0.6. So there's the 1.5, so right there, between each thread that we're going to use now. All right, that's what you're looking at. For me, I'm just going to copy what I did on the other side, and naughty me, just didn't even measure it. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to copy exactly. I'm going to get my pin like this so you can see what you're doing, what you have to do. There's the one that I did. That's the first one I did, right? I'm lying. The first one is stuck right in there on purpose. So I actually put one. It's literally right there. All right, so I'm going to start my thread in here and then go over there, but I'll show you that later. And then I did the rest afterwards. So with yours, get your measurement, your 1.6 there to there. If you've got 30 centimeters, okay, you need to divide it into 18 clusters. Now I haven't, so I'm just going to go like that and go through to the next one right there. And that's the way I'm going to do mine, all right? Because I just want to copy what I did here. It's pointless me measuring mine up again. I'm just going to copy what I've done there. So go ahead, put all your pins in for your what do I do with the measuring tape? Your 1.6 between each, like that, 1.6 between each like that. So 1.6, 1.6, 1.6, all the way around. Do exactly the same with the other leg. And then meet me back here in a moment. So just keep putting your pins along there. And meet me back here in a moment and we'll talk about how we're going to make the sewing part of this section, all right? Go ahead and pop your pins in and I'll meet you back here in a moment. Alrighty, now I found it easier to just do half a side for now for me because I'm just copying what I've done here. All right, but let's just say you've got all your pins in the round. It doesn't have to be this way, it can be any way you like, it doesn't matter. Now I was lucky enough over the few minutes that I did the other side to find a needle that was a little bit thicker, so it fit my yarn, and not too thick to get through the jeans. However, I did struggle kind of in the corners here. So don't stress too much if you struggle like me. What you need to do is thread your needle with the yarn you're going to use. Thread it, make a nice long thread, whatever. Yep. Give it a cut, and there you go. You don't have to knot it yet because we're going to weave that bottom end there in. But for now, what I want you to do, without pinning yourself, just pop it in, let's bring that up a little, just pop it in the back of that stitch right there. All right, bring it through and you're pulling all of your thread through, leaving yourself a little tail for you to actually weave in later, and I'll show you how to do that. Now all you're doing here is right there. Oh, let me see if I can get a close-up without pinning myself a gazillion times like I already have. That first needle that you have right there, get a little bit higher and just pop your needle in there. Take that little pin out, and that is your first one. And what you're going to do here is pull the needle through. Don't pull all the thread through, right? Leave that little space right there. You're going to pop your needle through that space, like so, and give it a gentle tug. Now remember, this is not weaved in yet, so be wary, yeah? So you're giving it a gentle tug, yeah? Now you got this, you're thinking that doesn't look right, but believe it or not, it is. Go into your very next pin. Now mine is a big space, don't worry about it. Yours doesn't need to be that big, I just messed up, all right? Pop your needle in, pull it through. I'm just trying to keep it in sync with the other leg, that's all. Now just being wary, this will not, it will. Don't pull it all the way through. Grab your little needle and pull it under it, like so. And all you're doing is forming these loops there. Now you want to make sure these loops are tight enough. Make sure when you're pulling it, you're holding on to that other end, the tail end, okay? And that's all you're doing. You're jumping straight into that next piece. Now where you're putting your sewing needle, it doesn't matter how high up you go or low you go, kind of stay a little consistent. I didn't. Mine's all over the place, and it doesn't really matter because it's a little bit of fun for a project that's coming up very soon. There's my little loop, remembering to pop your needle through that loop and giving it a tug there. Once you get about this section, this is not going to come undone, okay? Just keep going in the round all the way. I'm going to take this out because I know where to go. The pin was just in my way. See, it's a little bit thick still, this thread here. A little bit thick. Don't pull it through all the way. Pop your needle in. Making sure you're popping your needle in the same way. If you go the other way, it's going to make your work look different. You want to remain consistent no matter which way you pop it in. All right, so just keep going all the way across. I'm not going to let you sit here and watch me do this because it's going to take ages and you don't need to watch me do it now that you know what you're doing. So what I want you to do is let me pop my last one on the other side, my last needle there, so you know where to stop at. So grab your last needle. I'm sorry, let's try pin. Come on, woman, it's not that difficult. I still can't get the pin out. I keep calling it a needle. So I'm just going to pop mine there because that's where my last cluster set will go into, right there. So get to your last pin. So you're going all the way around. Let's see where we're up to now. Go from there all the way to your last pin here. Get here and meet me there in a moment. Alrighty guys, what you should have is that. And now I've got one more to go. So I've made mine really wide across here. I don't know what I did, but it doesn't matter. I'm just going to go a little bit closer to that way, just to even it out a bit. And did you find it really difficult? I did. But I won't tell you that. I'll pretend like I'm the expert and know exactly what I'm doing. I found it really difficult because the jeans themselves, they're quite thick. And getting the needle through those was just, you know, hard. When you get to the end, this is the part where you've got to be careful. You want to get your thread through the yarn first. So through the yarn on your piece. Yeah. But don't pull it all the way through. You're going to pop it through the jeans as well. I found it easier to do it this way. The other side really stressed me out. If you do it like this, you can get it through better. It's a little bit tough because it's thick. Don't forget to pop your needle through because you need to do this. And there. Now, if you're anything like me, you would have this big yarn left. Take it out. All right. If you haven't, you need to grab your needle and weave it in at the back somewhere. Tie it in a knot and weave it in at the back. Yours truly is going to start the cluster sets using this yarn. And now I'll tell you why, because I find that if I do it like that and just, let me get close up for you, and just pull that loop through here again, then go straight into your stitch on your work, like so. Pull a loop through and pull it through to the loop on your hook. you have a space where you need to put a cluster set in on the way back. But for now, we're going to chain 1, 2, and 3. If you want, you can place a stitch marker in there right now. I'm not going to do that because I'm running out of time. The sun is coming. And in the same space, I'm going to put 2 more double crochets. Now, my regulars would know that I don't like to record in the afternoon because that sun comes right in here and you can't see any recording. Okay, so chaining 1, skip 1, 2, and jump into your 3rd single crochet. They are single crochets from your previous round on this piece. So 1, 2, jump into your 3rd with 3 double crochets. So that's 1. I think I can only fit 2, and then I need to change my yarn. No, there's still plenty. 2, 3, chain 1, skip 1, 2, and in that 3rd one you're putting 3 double crochets. I'm only going to put 1 because I need to add my next skein of yarn. Now you're going to need quite a bit of yarn for this because we are doing altogether 1, 2, 3, 4 rows altogether. All right, so you're going to need quite a bit of yarn. Grab your new thread and just pop it on your hook. Pull that loop through, just grabbing both tails of those threads you have and your working yarn, giving it all a tug and completing the rest of your cluster set of 3 double crochets. That's 2, and that's my 3rd one. We need to chain 1, and then we go skip 1, 2, jump into your 3rd with 3 double crochets and 3. I'm sorry, am I going too fast? Sorry guys. Chain 1, skip 1, 2, and 3 double crochets in the next. You know what it is, when I'm off air I rush through to get it all done for you, and then I come back on and forget that I'm on air. You like that? Chain 1, skip 1, 2, jump into your 3rd with 3 double crochets. Chain 1, skip 1, 2, and 3 double crochets in your 3rd. And I'm just going to chain 1, but I'm going to turn these jeans around because they're twisting. And they will, as you go around, they'll twist. And that's the problem. It kind of gets all caught under the table there. All right, so skip 1, 2, and 3 double crochets in your 3rd. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, 1, 2, 3 double crochets in your 3rd. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, and right in that little corner there is that 4th one. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3. If you haven't, don't worry about it. Just pop it in your 2nd one and do 3 double crochets. If you've got 5 there, just pop it in your 3rd one. Okay, like so. And from here, you're going to chain 1 and see that little end, that really loose end, because we haven't tied that up. Pop it over the top of that stitch, right? And just go right around the whole stitch and do 3 double crochets in there. 1, 2, and 3. All right, now chain 1, see that's loosening up a little bit, give it a tug, pop it at the back, leave it there. You're going to weave that in as well later, okay? So now all we're doing is jumping into these little spaces that you made and doing 3 double crochets. So pop into that first space with 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, next space right there. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1. So let me show you what you're looking at. So there's your row of clusters over your work. Then you're getting here and you are popping 3 double crochets in every space until you get there. So what I'm going to do is just pop a little pin there, like that. Oh, let's pop it down there. All right, right there. Go ahead and do your 3 double crochets, chain 1 in each little thread space you have. Get to this section here and I will meet you up in a moment. Alrighty guys, what you should have is that all the way across, and you should be up to your last cluster set there, right there. Now, I've already chained my one. If you haven't, make sure you chain your one, and then pop yourself in your last space there with your 3 double crochets, chain 1, and all you're doing is slip stitching into the top of that stitch, the one where you popped your stitch marker in if you did, or if you didn't, it's just that top 2 loops of the top 3rd chain of those chain 3s there. So pull a loop through. So this part here, you can do this either way. You can either slip stitch across there, slip stitch into that, and then slip stitch into that space. Now I silly decided to lift up the loop and pop it into that space and pull a loop through like that. I thought it would look nice. It didn't really look that crash hot, but to keep consistent, I'm going to do that. You can slip stitch 1, 2, and then pop into that chain space there if you like. Okay, so chain up 1, 2, and 3, or you can do it the way I've done it. I just don't like the look of it, to be honest with you. And you can pop your 2 double crochets in the same space, 1 and 2. Chain 1. Oh, you can take that pin out now. We don't need that. You'll probably need it later. In your spaces that you come to, you're doing your cluster sets of 3 double crochet. Easy round this. 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1. And in your set, right there, 1, 2, and 3, chain 1. I'm just going to turn my jeans around because they're all twisted around. All right, I'm going to pop this on fast motion until I get to this space right here. So you continue to pop your 3 double crochets and chain 1, and I'll meet you at that section there in just a moment. And off we go. Chain 1. Okay, now here we are on our very last space here before we get here. So we're just going to pop our normal 3 double crochets in there and 3, chain 1. Now in every chain 1 space, guess what you're going to do? 3 double crochets, chain 1. That's it. That's pretty much it. 3 double crochets in there, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 3 double crochets in there, 1, 2, and 3, chain 1, and so on. Every chain space that we made. All right, 2, 3, chain 1. All right, so continue in that manner. Get yourself right here just before that stitch marker. I'm going to pop a needle right there in that last space, just there. Let's try pin. You think I'm going to get this right towards the end of the tutorial? Let's pop a pin there. So continue in that manner. Get to that little space there where your pin is, and I'll meet you up in a moment. Alrighty guys, here I am at the end of this round. Okay, and I actually need to pop another cluster set in there because I haven't put one in there yet. Make sure you're chaining 1 in between. Yes, so there's your 3 double crochets. Chain 1. Let's take out this pin. I was going to say stitch marker. Do you think I can get this right? I'll tell you. All right, so now what you're doing is you are slip stitching in the top of that 3rd chain again like we did before in the previous round. Oh, there we go. Grabbing your loop, pulling it through and pulling it through to the loop on your hook. Again, slip stitch in 1, 2 and then into that space and then chain up 3. Yours truly is just going to lift it up, pop it underneath here, grab the tail and pull it through here. Look, it's probably not the right way to do it and it doesn't look that crash hot, but I've done it in the past and I've got to keep it consistent now. So chaining 1, 2, 3 and doing my 2 double crochets in this same space. Chain 1 and then jumping straight into the next space, and guess what you're doing in the round? Exactly what we've been doing all along. What? It's super duper easy. Chain 1 and into the next space with your 3 double crochets. Chain 1. All right, I'm not going to let you sit here and watch me do it. You are going to do one big thing now. You're going to go all the way around, slip stitch into there, and then do one more round, and then meet me back here after you get to that pin there. All right. Oh, I said pin, yay. So do one round, slip stitch, do another round, and then when you get to your last round, which was that second one, stop there and I'll tell you what we're going to do next. All right, so go ahead, do me 2 rounds and I'll meet you back here in a moment. Alrighty guys, here I am at the end of the row, and don't you just hate it when you've got 3, 4 cluster sets left and you lose at Yarn Chicken? Check that out, from there to there. What? Never mind, that's just my luck. I'm having a little bit of bad luck today. I've got lots of pin marks in me and losing at Yarn Chicken. Oh, what do you do? Anyway, chain 1, get into that last cluster set where your pin is. I'm going to take that pin out. Oh my gosh, I have said it right towards the end of the tutorial, haven't I? It is a pin and not a needle. 2 and 3, chain 1, and now we're going to slip stitch in the top of our first chain that we made, like so. Pull that loop through, pull it through to the loop on your hook. I'm going to pull up a loop, but I'm not going to cut it yet because I want to make sure that I did the exact same amount of rows in the other side, especially since I lost a Yarn Chicken. I'm so disappointed. Okay, so here we go. There are the rows on that side. 1, 2, 3, and here it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, really? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, I can't count. Let's just pop them up against each other and see what they look like and make sure, yeah, they're exactly the same. So I've got 4 rows on one leg and 4 rows on the other. That means right now, this very second, oops, oh, pins are falling all over the place. We have finished our work. Oh, what? Yes, we have. We have finished both our legs. Check them out. And now they have the, oops, bring that out. Now they have the flare that I wanted when I want to wear them over boots. Now, before we go ahead and take off and do things, we need to weave in this end, all right? So grab your sewing needle, and I'm just going to show you this one first, real quickly. Oh, the sun's going down and we're in trouble. Oh, we're in trouble, we're in trouble. Okay, grab that and just weave that in. Wait, let's show you what I'm doing. I'm not even showing. You can do this any way you like. You can go through the back way. I just literally go back into the last stitch, the last chain, and I pull that loop right through, okay? Then I turn it over. This is the inside of your work, and I find some stitches just to go down into. Oh, whoops, check the front, but it was okay. I know that for a fact. I probably don't. Oh, I'll just make it look like I know what I'm doing. And then just, I'm so naughty, aren't I? And then just kind of weave inside the back of the stitches at the back. Whoops, right there. All right. So you're weaving in stitches. Don't pull that too tight because that's just a part of there, yeah? You don't want to pull it too tight. You just want to pull it tight enough for that, okay? Just go back the other way. right in there. Different section, of course. So we're all the way down there. Just pop it through another stitch and go in through there as well. One more time. Why? Because yours truly is an absolute stickler at ends, and that's just who I am. So pull that through one more time, and there you go. We're going to cut this one. Now what I want to do is go right back to that very first thread that we did here that really isn't knotted. So it can actually come undone, and your pieces here, your little cluster sets, they can come undone. So we're going to quickly weave that in. Notice the sun. Oh, it's going down. It's going down. All right. So we came through this way. Remember, we crocheted over it. You're going to give it a tug so it's tight. Then you're going to split one of the stitches. Don't go back in the same place where you were. You'll take the work that you just did undone. So you're going to split a stitch and then go back through. Just make sure you can't see the needle up the top here, and you can't. All right. And pull that through. Like so. Guess what? You're going to do it again. Why? Yours truly is a stickler, and I'm going to go through the back of another stitch and pull that through that way. And guess what? One more time, just for fun, because it's the one that we didn't knot. And if you don't knot in crochet, likely it will come undone. So do it 3 times on top of the one that we already crocheted over. Seriously, guys, don't be scared. You won't notice the thickness on your leg. Trust me, you won't. All right, so let's have a quick look, see at what we've got here. Okay, don't forget to weave in all your other ends. I'm just going to tuck them in there for now. Don't forget to weave in all your other ends. And I just want to show you something real quickly. Lay that out like that. And get the other one. Just tuck that in there, pretend like we weave that in. Yeah. Get the other one and lay it out there like that. Oh, bring it out a little bit. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Gorgeous. Oh, oops. Here she goes again. They're saying, oh no, she's at it again. She's gone crazy. She's... Never mind, guys. Never mind. Oh, well, here we go. All right. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And do all those wonderful things that you guys already do for me. Don't forget to weave in that last end, wherever it is, the last few ends we have there. I've got to do that chicken one just to upset me a little bit. And I will see you on our lives this Saturday. This outfit that you see here, plus the jumper that I made, which I'll show you on the first Thursday of this month coming, July. Plus, on these jeans, I'm going to be having WOW and then CROCHET on the jeans. I'm going to be having that on these jeans. Plus, you'll be seeing me wearing the same boots that you... Oh, here we go again. You'll be seeing me wearing those same boots. I'm very naughty, aren't I? Sorry, guys. Plus, you'll be seeing me wearing the same boots as you saw just now. All right? So you're going to be seeing all of that full ensemble on the first Thursday of the month in July. So get excited for that video. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. And guess what, guys? Gorgeous. Ciao for now. Oh, we're going to go back this way, aren't we? Ow! Oh, ow! Oh, look at that! Ow! 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 I'm such a baby. No, look at that!